What's going on, guys? Steel here. This video is going to be a video response to Weavers of Eternity. If you haven't checked out his channel, do so. He has a pretty awesome channel and he does a lot of cool like lanyards and stuff. So the other day, I think it was last week actually, he did a video on the Small Junkyard dog by Kershaw, which is model 1720. And these are pretty difficult to find. I got fortunate enough, before I even really knew that they were really hard to find, my Snap-on guy had two of these. And I bought one and sold it, and then I got the other one from him, and this is the one that I have. You can see that I've done some modifications, which I'll just talk about real quick so you kind of know the difference. If you have seen my video on the Kershaw polishing, that's what I did to this. So all the aluminum is polished and the clip is scotch brighted. You can kind of see that. And then this is really one of the smoothest knives I have. Part of the reason is probably because I did take out the bronze phosphorus washers and polished them. That's an extremely easy modification to do too, by the way. But now this knife at zero lockup, I mean, all I gotta do is flick it and it's just right out. Very smooth, very cool. This design is done by Tim Galyean. I hope I say that right. From what I understand, he did have a mid-grade series of knives. I think they're kind of known as mid-tech. I don't think he really does anything anymore because, if I remember right, he works for Kershaw now designing stuff. And so he doesn't do custom stuff anymore. That's if my information is correct. It's just basic 14C28N, which I think is a great EDC steel. And the blade shape is a real wild one. You can see it's kind of supposed to be like Air Force-esque. It's kind of got the Air Force symbol on the side. And, come on camera. And on the other side, I think it's still there. Yeah, you got like a fuel door, no step. Kind of supposed to be a wing. From my understanding, it's supposed to be like pretty well geometried out to be like, darn it. Sorry, I hit my tripod, to be like a wing. It's like a small three-finger design. Oop. And that's about all that fits. My pinky can kind of grab on here a little bit. It's surprisingly comfortable. It is not like a design to be held in the palm. Basically just your fingers pinch it. Very similar to Alan Foltz's minimalist design, where it's really only your fingers doing the gripping. It has a plastic of sorts, I'm not sure what kind of plastic, back spacer. It's pretty much closed construction all the way. And you can see that small little area. And one thing, and this is what I love about Kershaw, and I know a lot of people do, is this knife is 5 years old. It's from 2007. I got it just this year, which means it's probably sitting on a Snap-on truck for like 5 years or maybe a little less. But who knows, when I got it, it had somehow been sitting so long on the Snap-on truck that it actually had rust underneath the pocket clip. It had rust some on the blade, and when I tore it apart, it had some on the inside of the liners, which is basically how I happened upon the polishing modification, because I was taking some of the rust out of the blade. So kind of like Ernest Emerson's wave feature. It was a bit of an accident. I just noticed it was shining up nice and finished it all the way out. Anyway, so that's just a small story. One of the interesting things about this knife that I really like, I think it's cool, and I haven't seen it on any other knives that I personally have had, is at first look, show you here, it would seem that it's lacking a pretty critical part for the knife, right? If you look at the back, yeah, there's no stop pin right there. And for a long time before I took the knife apart, I thought that they just made the locking bar wide enough to contact that it just worked out great. When in actuality, this small piece right here, it's an internal stop pin. And I'd really have to take it apart to show you well. But it's really cool. The stop pin actually goes through here, through a cutout in the blade. And just like another spot, this bottom piece, the cutout, it's like a small semi circle cutout. It stops at the blade and locks up. it's really cool. It's like a hidden stop pin. It allows the flipper action to be a little far forward, which gives it really nice action. And you don't have the stop pin like making the flipper way back here where leverage is a little more difficult to get the blade out. So that's a really cool feature. I really like lock bar cutouts that are on the outside of the handle. I think that's pretty cool. It's more often the cutouts are to the inside, and I don't know if it's more just the association with a lot of high quality customs tend to put their cutouts on the outside. It seems like it kind of gives this knife even a little more bit of a classy look, and it's I really like the look of the outside cutout. I think it adds a little more dimension to the knife. So yeah, that's not a whole lot to talk about. It's kind of a semi-review. I've been EDCing this knife a lot. I really like it. It cuts really well. The only thing, I do have really big hands, and it is comfortable like this, but if you were going to choke up on it like this, it isn't really comfortable because of how the small ramp that leads to the blade is. I think perhaps if they just were to like flatten that out some, it would be a little more comfortable for actually putting your thumb forward. And it isn't terrible like this, but it's not really, I don't think it'd be conducive to much work. So that's pretty much it, guys. I want to do a small talk about it, mainly to compare points with Weavers of Eternity. Yeah, I told him I would, and it's been a little while. So yeah, guys, if you ever get a chance to pick one of these up, I would really suggest doing so. It's a really cool knife, and it's unfortunately discontinued. I think it would be awesome to see it brought back to production, perhaps even with a composite blade like its large brother, the Junkyard dog. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys, and check out Weavers of Eternity if you haven't already. So have a good day, guys.